Today we are going to talk about how to understand your spouse. Now, to understand a spouse or any person, you need to understand how they were brought up. We are all defined by the experiences that we had while we were growing up. So, even before we go to understanding your spouse, to understand anyone, you need to have an understanding of yourself. So when you understand how you grew up, the experiences that shaped you, then you're able to understand that you're different from any other person because they were shaped by different experiences that they went through. Let me give an example. We see people who grow up and become abusers. Why? Because they experienced violence when they were growing up. And we may argue that when people grow up, they have the capacity to change and to choose what they want. While that is partially true, it is not entirely true because when we are growing up, what we face, what we experience becomes part of our normal. And that is what we know to be what it is. Now, when you meet someone else, two people meeting from two different backgrounds, they need to understand where they are coming from and where their partner is coming from. Now, if a child was brought up by parents who were not present, they seem to miss one very important aspect, which is connection, which is secure attachments. Once they have grown up, they are not able to connect with anyone, even if at the point of loving each other, they fall in love. That is a moment where things seem okay and they are rosy, but still they do not know how to connect because they did not learn how to connect when they were growing up. So in marriage, you may be wondering why your partner does not connect with you, why they seem so distant. Sometimes it's not really a question of they do not love you. Probably that's all they knew. So if you are able to identify how they grew up, that they did not have present parents, they did not have anyone to care for them, to teach them love, then you're able to understand they do not have the capacity to love you in a way of connecting. Now, understanding yourself helps you to see that you are very different from that person. And when you begin to understand you're different, then you can begin to work towards harmonizing the differences because it is not possible to be the same. And no one is exactly okay in all areas. So when you understand that your partner is different, you begin to be more patient and bearing to understand where they are coming from and help them. If they can see, then they can work through. When they cannot see, then they are not able to work through. So understanding a person, you have to get where are they coming from? What are the experiences that shaped them? What has made them the way they are? What is it to them they know as normal? Say, for example, these people who cane their children and spank them all the time, and they say this is how we grew up and we came out just normal. And there you're thinking, what's with my spouse? Basically, because their way and their their way of seeing things is very different from yours. So anyone who has to understand a spouse, they have to begin from where they grew up and the experiences that shaped them.